It's that time again. Keep it cool with sheets. Rock and roll, yeah. Hello again. Hello. It's good to need you so. Okay, that's enough of that. So here I am, hanging out like I do. And I thought, I'll do a video by myself. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it. And some of you might like it. Some of you might not. Hopefully you do. But, let's just keep it cool. Let's do this. Rock and roll. So what we've got here is we've got the classic Mick Foley, Mankind, and Undertaker. They asked to be on the video today. Hey, Undertaker, how you feel? Man, a few words. Mick Foley. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to kick Undertaker's ass. No, you're not. Oh, Undertaker spoke. Oh!
The autobiography of Ryan.
Bam! 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that I've got that out of my system, I don't know what that was. It was just being stupid. I am what I am, okay? Don't judge me. So, someone had asked me to shout out about a couple of the records that I really love. So, we'll start out. We've got ACDC. This is Highway to Hell. I know some people think, satanic and whatever. But I just consider it music. I don't listen to it and think, oh, this is so me. I just listen to it and I think, man, this is enjoyable. This is an original album. It was released when it was released. It's not one of those repressed albums that they come out with today, which are fine, but this is exactly 1979, before Ryan was born. I've always enjoyed ACDC's music. Again, it's not so much about listening to the music and, putting too much thought into it. It's just about enjoying rock and roll. I know some people don't like it. Not for everybody. Not every type of music's for me. It's, we've all just got preferences. Things that we grew up with. Next one, I've got the original Kiss Alive album. Now, I've actually got two of these bad boys. My stepdad bought them at an auction. And, because he knows that I'm a big Kiss fan, this is 1975. And the thing about vinyl is, I guess for me it's like a nostalgia. They actually switched the albums in this one. This one's an Alive 2 album. Which, Alive 2 is good in its own rights too. Which I've actually got right here. So now I guess I've got two Kiss Alive 2 albums and one Kiss Alive album. Yeah, I know, Gene Simmons is kind of scary looking. Hey, if you saw him without the makeup, you might not think he's so scary with the makeup. But that's what makes it cool to be Gene Simmons. He can look like that and still do well with the ladies. And, his wife, Shannon Tweed, is quite a looker. No judgment there. He met her at the Playboy Mansion, supposedly, and that's the rock and roll lifestyle. Next up, I've got an album. This is an album that, I've listened to with my uncle. He'd passed away a few years ago. He took me to a couple concerts and Kiss and Journey, Def Leppard. He actually took me to the Kiss reunion tour back in '96. I wasn't old enough to drive, so part of the deal for him to take us was we bought his ticket, and he didn't make us buy it. It's just, the kind of gesture that you do for somebody. So, next up, Journey. Evolution. Always been a big Journey fan. This has got Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin'. Just the Same Way. Lady Luck. This is, back in the Steve Perry days. And it's always been Neil Sean's show. If you ever get a chance to see Journey, I know you'll never get to see Steve Perry if you haven't, but Neil Sean puts on a heck of a show. Great jam guitarist, and I guess I've always heard stories, and I heard him talk about it. He started out with Santana when he was like 13 years old, which Santana's a legend in his own, so you got something going for you if you start out with Santana, and then Journey is in your future as your band. And I never got to see Steve Perry. I would have loved to, but I've heard that the vocalist they have now is really good, Arnell. So some things just keep going. So this next one, necktie. Never learned how to tie one. Something my dad never taught me how to do. My grandpa tried, but usually what I do is say, "Hey, could you tie that for me before you leave?" And he'd tie it and set it on the rack, and I'd just throw it on. I don't have a neck, so I don't really need a necktie. So the next album I'd like to talk about, I know the glare is kind of hard to see this, but Mly Crew, their greatest hits. Now this is a repress. This is like recent. And, I've got Mly Crew, Girls, Girls, Girls. I've got Theater of Pain and a couple others. I've always been a big Mly Crew fan. Again, I know, some people don't like them. They're a little too extreme for them, a little too flamboyant, whatever. I'm not asking you to like what I like. I'm just telling you what I like. Okay, the necktie's gotta go. So, you may like rap music. Rap music's not for me. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't really appeal to my senses. I like rock music. Some people like country music. And, it's just, we all like what we like. It's not about race. It's not about age. It's not about anything other than what appeals to your senses. And there is nothing wrong with rock and roll for me. Again, I know some people have opinions that vary, and that's cool too. There's a rock and roll lifestyle, then there's listening to rock and roll. I don't go out and party. I'm usually in bed by 9 o'clock, and I don't do drugs. I'm a big guy, so I couldn't even imagine if I did do drugs, what that would do to me. Don't want to. But, that's not all what rock and roll is about. Rock and roll, to me, is about having fun. Like Poison says, don't need nothing but a good time. How can I resist? It don't get better than this. Here's to you. I'm not trying to bore y'all with this. I just, kind of new to me to do something by myself. And, I know some people have said that, they like my humor, and I appreciate that. But I do pull from having other people to interact with. It just makes it more fun for me. So, that's why I don't do a lot of these videos by myself. You may enjoy it, and I do appreciate that. And feel free to comment. But, I also, I want to show that there's other types of rock and roll that I get into. The punk rock genre. Yes, the Sex Pistols. Most of you would know Anarchy in the UK. I like the Sex Pistols. I love listening to Johnny Rotten talk about anything, because he's so, he's so himself. He doesn't try to buy into what everybody wants him to buy into, which may be a gimmick on its own, but it works for him. Unfortunately, Sid Vicious passed away. That's another one, heroin overdose. But I don't know if it was a heroin overdose or he was shot and killed. I don't know the exact details, but I'm sure someone will fill me in. I have seen the movie Sid and Nancy. I just don't remember the details. Another punk rock group that I like, Ramones. This is all their greatest hits. The Ramones are a band, they kept everything short and sweet. they didn't have songs that were 5 minutes long. They'd get there, they'd jam out, they'd do their thing. Some of the songs, I want to be sedated. Bam, bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, 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 bam. I want to be sedated. Blitzkrieg Bop. You know, there's so many good songs that they've got. And, I mean, if you're not familiar, I know this is going to be hard to see. Maybe I'll do it like this. So, you know, those are a couple of the punk rock. Again, those are represses. Those are not the original presses. I like the represses for, you know, listening to. But I really like a lot of the older albums, which some of them were my mother and father's. They divorced when I was like 3. He kept the stereo. She kept the kids. Thanks, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. You know, she did a lot for us when we were young, and we never wanted for anything, you know, and I know it was hard, and she gave up a lot. You know, that's what moms do, and, you know, great moms, you know, you can't beat them. She supports everything I do, this channel. I'm sure she probably thinks, my son's kind of weird. But she's known me, believe it or not, my whole life. So she already knew coming in, and she's like, yeah, he's going to do something goofy. So, there's that.
Don't forget to check out Good All's Country Kitchen. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep it cool with Sheets.